Welcome to Redundant Opinions, where the thing you need most on the internet is another two stray white guys thinking that they're right about the world. Welcome back. My name is Kochie, this is Cami, and we're here to chat about our YouTube CEO that has recently changed hands and how maybe that's going to affect the Web3 NFT space that apparently is going to the moon. Xbox and the Sony finally make an agreement on Call of Duty, and we'll be talking about the Game Expo, the upcoming expo in Melbourne, and we'll probably go on a tangent here and there. If you find yourself coming back on the regular, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that bell for notifications, and if you're looking for the audio version of this podcast without the mugshots in front of you, we're now on Spotify, so link is down in the doobly-doo. I need to shorten that intro.
We're getting there. We're getting there. It's all a learning process, mate. We're only on episode 7. We've got time. We've got time. The episode, it's going to the moon, all right. The podcast is going to the moon, but we've got to get the content in there first.
That's it. We'll get there.
Yeah, we always do. How's things, Kochie?
Busy. I haven't had much time to do stuff. I still got a review video out, which was late because I'm shit. So apologies to the developers who were like, yeah, I'll totally get that out at like Monday, Tuesday, and then the video came out Friday.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, so that was for Deliver Us Mars, which was a sequel. And yeah, it was an alright game.
Good shit.
Doing that, and then it's mostly just been work. Work and study. I've just submitted my final project for my BA course, so assuming that I get the 100% weighted assignment, I get all that ticked off, I'll be a certified BA. And if not, I'll cry myself to sleep.
Bless up in the comments for Kochie. All right, bless up,
please. But apart from that, yeah, just running through all of that stuff. And yeah, what about yourself,
mate? Also busy week. Work was nothing short of crazy as it normally is. But let's just say I pulled up mighty rusty on Saturday morning.
You really blew off steam on the Friday.
Fucking hell. So me and my mates we're going to go out. Pre-drinks are at my place, which has become the norm since I've moved out.
It does help.
It does help a lot, yeah. But, so we had drinks. It got to around about 1 a.m. in the morning. We're like, you know what? We're not really vibing this, but we want to keep going. So we all came back to my place. Card games were happening. I had 3 bottles of hard liquor. I now have 1.5 bottles of hard liquor.
The power of friendship right there.
Power of friendship and bad decisions. Plus, mixes galore. Let's just say we continued to keep going, and then we sort of looked out my window and realized that the sun was coming up and thought, oh fuck. One guy had work in 3 hours, so I felt for him.
How do you do that?
It's impressive, I will say the least. He did pull through, so I was very proud of him. But it was a good night. But oh boy, the next morning I have never felt
afternoon, right? By that point.
Yeah, I didn't get up till 1 p.m. I woke up drunk, I'm pretty sure. I woke up and stumbled out of bed, and I was like, oh, we're still here. We're still here. We're at this stage. Good. Yep. So the hangover was still coming, which made it even worse. But it was the cleanup that got me, right? So I'm sure everyone here who's hosted a drinking session at their house, you wake up, you see the fucking kitchen bench. It is just clamoring of, booze, half drinking cans and glasses, stuff like that. So what's the first thing you do? Well, you tip the drink out into your sink. What do you do when that happens? You catch the whiff. You catch the stench.
Alcohol that you don't want to smell.
I tell you what, that activated a sense of fight or flight that I have not felt in a long time. I wanted to leave my own fucking apartment. So, yeah, it was a crusty weekend.
I'm guessing, little apartment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm selling again. I do not care.
Yep.
So it's been a crusty weekend, Kochie. I will say that much. But we're here now. There's been some pretty, unlike myself, productive moves happening in the industry this week. Sorry,
Yeah,
segues. We're
we
good
got
at them.
there. There was something that was mentioned in your Discord, which was just saying, "Oh man, these segues, like I just can't deal." And it just gave me the idea, which I wrote down immediately, which is I need to make a video of all the shit segues, like all the worst segues for the year or whatever.
Maybe like a year in review shit segues. I like this. That's a great, like the top 10 or something like that. That's a perfect idea.
So keep that in mind, because we'll do that at some point.
Damn right. And what we can also do then is split those up into shorts as well.
There we go.
Sorry, content brain in full operation.
Content brain.
Someone who is stepping out of the content brain though is
the double segue.
Let's fucking go. Susan, who I'm not going to try and pronounce her last name, just good old Susan, stepping down as the CEO of YouTube after 25 years at Google. It's a hell of a stint. A hell of a stint, and quite a big, I wouldn't say blow, but quite a significant hit to, I imagine, the status quo for YouTube, quite frankly.
Yeah, it kind of ruffled some feathers, I guess, here and there. Like she hasn't, I guess, had the most popular decisions with things. Like we've had the adpocalypse and all of that stuff while she's at the helm, but I feel like there's been a lot of stuff that she's done that has done fairly well for that.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like, look, I get it. Like whenever you've got a brand that's got a figurehead that you can sort of target online, like, all these social media companies, of course, like their CEOs, their leaders, if you will, are going to be the target points for a lot of this sort of backlash. I think, especially with the apocalypse and stuff like that, I feel like it was a bit mistargeted at that point, because yes, Susan would probably have the final say, but I'm willing to bet the advertisers themselves probably had something to say in there too. Like, I don't think YouTube would have done that unless the advertisers were at significant threat of pulling out, just because why not? So, but anyway, besides the point.
Yeah, I think there was, because we never see stuff at this level. It's just, they resigned. So we never see much around what's going on.
Yeah.
There was something that I saw regarding a court case about someone who, I have to remember, mind blanking. There's a court case about YouTube recommending content, and therefore recommending the content was enforcing, like encouraging that behavior, like extremist views and stuff like that. Like the algorithm is doing that. So the people that were affected by the outcomes of those, I'm trying to be vague as possible here.
I can see. Yeah.
So there's like extremist videos with violence and stuff that are on YouTube, and because they can't moderate 300 hours of content every minute. Which I'm sure that number is actually growing. It's probably growing. But because of that, it led to people taking actions, which then led to deaths and things like that. So there was a family that was affected that then sued Google because YouTube was recommending videos to these extremists inflating that.
What was the outcome of that?
I think it's still ongoing.
You see, that to me, I don't know about that, because I don't know, like algorithm suggesting content and echo chambers, I guess you could call it, have been around since, well, not since the dawn of the internet, but since the search engines, and since algorithms started making its way into platforms. I don't know, that just seems like I don't know if that's necessarily an issue that's directly affiliated to Google, and or to YouTube, and I don't necessarily feel like I get it, like encouraging that kind of act is probably a bit, hey, how you going, and probably shouldn't be up on the platform. But is it I don't know. That's tough. Yeah, you got to be thinking about that.
That's the thing. So I watched a video from, there's a YouTuber called Legal Eagle, who's really good and goes into depth about it. But basically, Google and a lot of other websites are sitting behind a part of the Telecommunications Act called Section 230, which is basically like, we're not responsible for things on the platform. We just provide the platform, essentially. Yeah. That's not the right wording, but it's basically, that's how they defend themselves, because otherwise they'd have to moderate every single thing that's on the platform. And
we all know that is just completely, unreasonable. It's like it's why you see content that is a little bit weird and a little bit, probably be a bit oh, why is that there?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and I guess, well, I guess that also ties in well to like why the adpocalypse happened. Like, advertisers probably got sick and tired of seeing their ads affiliated with this very questionable content. So like, well, YouTube needs to get its shit together in this sense. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But it was interesting that was coming through, and then like this, what people would say is a famous court case that could potentially change. Like if they're targeting this section, if it gets changed, that could change the face of websites. Like if they end up making
really
an
could.
amendment to that,
Yeah,
it
it
could
really
change a
could.
lot of things that happen to people's content, because a lot of people just don't care about the content
Exactly.
they create. And then they get the DMCA or they get their copyright hammer or whatever, and it's just like, okay,
Yeah,
that's it. Where
yeah, exactly.
later on, if that changes, because it is an American website, I think a lot of people don't
Yeah,
really make that connection. Well, I'm making content in Australia. It's like,
it doesn't matter.
it's an American
Doesn't matter.
website. It abides by American rules.
Yeah,
So
it's extra, and that is applied extrajudicially. Like, you've got to, just because you're Australian, you've got to say uphold the American copyright side of things. Like you don't get to, and in fact, because Google operates in multiple countries, they've also got to be, um, what's the word I'm looking for here? They need to be in line with other jurisdictions' legislation as well. I find it interesting that you talk to, like, this case potentially acting as a lever to change legislation effectively, and we all know that takes years, if not, half a decade to do.
yeah, well, this court case has been going on since the attack that happened in 2015.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so we're almost 10 years later down the line, and we're still going.
yeah,
Yeah, wow.
So apparently
okay.
the court case was granted, whatever this is, certiorari. Oh, fuck. Let's put a little word up there to say, yep.
Yeah.
So like it's the process to seek judicial review on a decision for a lower court or government agency.
Interesting.
So yeah, I guess it's finally being heard.
Yeah. Okay.
As of October last year. So.
Yeah. Right.
Obviously, with these things like people resigning and whatnot, it's not something that happens usually too quickly, because there's things that need to go on in the background.
Yeah.
To make this all happen, really, because you can't just replace.
Yeah, get your business continuity plans in order. Who's going to step in? Who's acting? Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it's not this. I doubt this is anything to do with Susan like leaving due to backlash, or something's happened behind. Well, Susan's like, I don't want to say it, but she's probably a little older, right? Like, my understanding is that she's sort of in her 50s going on. Which is around retirement age, especially if you're a fucking CEO. So,
I guess that's a good point. They've been at the company 25 years, and they're not just at a small company. That there's the little company called Google, so I think they would probably pay pretty well.
Just the little, Silicon Valley company. It's fine.
Yeah.
Startup. It's in beta, guys.
But she's been working with the new CEO. So there was a new CEO that got announced.
Yes.
Apparently she's been working with him for about 15 years or so out of that. So it'll be interesting to see, like, if anything really changes too drastically because of the change in CEO.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and we have to remember, yes, the CEO does get obviously a lot of decisions to make, but I'm sure they have to answer to a bunch of, like, a board of directors, and it's got to be commercially viable, any changes they want to make. So I'm with you. I doubt we'll see anything too drastic emerge from this. Yeah, it's definitely a very I doubt in the short term we'll see anything too crazy from it. Long term, however, who knows?
Going to the moon.
Going to the moon. Yeah. So
I guess new CEO Neil Mohan is the new guy that stepped up. Now, I mean, what are your opinions on NFTs and Web3 and the new age of the internet?
You're really gonna make me say it outright, aren't you? It's the biggest Ponzi scam I've ever seen in my life.
Good, we're on the same page. We don't have to end the podcast.
Hooray. Very good, very good. Just get on Spotify and we're done over an NFT argument. Let's go. It is the biggest fucking Ponzi scam I've ever seen in my life. It is just there to steal gullible people's money.
And That's it.
But they're going to the moon, so you know.
Yes, exactly. So the reason why we bring that up is that there has been evidence and previous and pretty good evidence there that the new CEO is all for the whole NFT, crypto, Web3 infrastructure, and can potentially bring that into the YouTube system. Now, YouTube is a smaller company, Google's a parent company of YouTube, and Alphabet is a parent company of Google. So there's some influence there that they need to get through for that, but it's more just they're in a powerful position to be able to do that for an entire video platform.
Yeah, you get to make a lot of decisions. I mean, like, if it's as simple as, I don't know, like allowing transactions to go through Google or go through YouTube with crypto, I don't even know how that would work.
Buy premium with Bitcoin. Woo!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Use Dogecoin to buy a super chat. Like, I mean, I guess that would be
it's another payment option, really. It's like it doesn't really affect anything.
No, exactly. And I mean, if someone wants to donate me a whole Bitcoin, then fuck it, go for it. I won't say no to that, Chief. No, being serious though, like I guess if you're just adding like payment options and stuff like that, it's not the end of the world. However, there's this article that we're looking into at the moment. As Chief Product Officer, Mohan pushed for the integration of NFTs into the video platform to give creators more opportunities to earn. That scares me a little bit.
You can own your video. It's on the blockchain now. Like there's so many things that we can get into, which we're obviously like not like smart enough or well versed enough. But my understanding would be like if they implemented blockchain technology, you could have every single video could be up on the blockchain, I think. But even then, it's not even that. It's a link to the video, because if you put the entire video on the blockchain, it would be massive. Like these podcasts are, even just the recordings in the video form is like 14 gig or something.
Yeah, crazy.
That would cost millions of dollars to host. So if anything, it'd just be a link to it, and then you own the JPEG or the thumbnail of it. Doesn't work.
Do you own the thumbnail? Do you own the video? Do you own the link to the video? Like it's and then it kind of makes me wonder, okay, when does copyright come into play here? Because we're not talking about like this is the biggest, and maybe someone in the comments can inform me on this. But the whole idea of copyright law coming into effect with this whole blockchain thing, like my understanding is if I make the content and do you buy my position on the blockchain for my link to my video, and then does it become your video, or is it still my video because I made it? Like,
you can mint unique copies of your video, Cami, and sell them for profit.
Unique copies of my video. Fuck off.
That's what the JPEGs are. That's exactly what that is. It's just minting different copies and different colors and different shit like that. So
I just picture like a bunch of dudes in like a strip mine just looking for JPEGs in Minecraft.
Now they get MP4s. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh my word. Yeah, it's admittedly something that I don't wholly understand. I don't want to.
That's the whole point, I guess, is no, it's really super smart and you just don't understand it, bro. It's like, no,
stop it.
So yeah, we don't really know how it's going to be affected, but just hopefully it doesn't just affect our, like if it just adds, as you said, like a payment plan, you're good. If it just adds, something else in the back end of things, cool. But if it like fundamentally changes things, one, I don't think it would. I don't think that it have that allowance to. It'll just be like the separate offshoot or something like that. Yeah,
exactly. And as we said, they have a board of directors to answer to.
Probably start going down and shit once the people leave.
Oh, I tell you what, because we all know, we all know that the Web3 machine is a very vocal minority on the internet, as far as we're concerned. Like, you see, there's always going to be more backlash to support for NFTs currently as it stands, I think, and that's fine. Like they've got a dedicated community that believes they're onto something. Do you, boo?
Yeah, exactly. You do, boo. You do, you, boo. And I think just going from this article, it's just like Web3 opens up new opportunities for creators. But I mean, unfortunately, the article doesn't go in depth as to what those opportunities are, and things like that.
It's very high level. It's very high level. Very vague, which again doesn't really help with the clarifying the NFT integration. But anyway, like I don't know how it's going to work. I guess my biggest concern is there you go. My biggest concern is ownership of content, right? Because again, yeah, I'm not very on board with, you know, content that I've made going out the door because it's on the blockchain and I can no longer police its ownership. Like very weird stuff going on there. So
yeah,
I admit I'm not the biggest authority on this sort of thing. And I never will be.
We are idiots. Yeah.
We are, redundant opinions, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's what it's what we are. Just two redundant opinions that like to speak into the ether.
That's it. Remember to subscribe.
Hey.
Yeah, got it.
So it'd be interesting to see what happens though. If anything, we are on the tangent of assuming something will happen. This is just based off his previous views. Maybe the dude's going to be capable of splitting his NFT ambitions with what YouTube actually is.
Yeah, spin off a side project now that he's got the ability to do that, or as a separate product. You know, we've got YouTube Premium, we've got, you know, YouTube Music and whatever that else that he was a part of, and then maybe he just spins off something else, and I can go, awesome. It's like YouTube Kids, just don't touch it. You know, it's fine. Like, just leave it alone and then it'll be fine. Let it do its own thing.
That sentence also applies if you take the YouTube out of it too. I just want to say that.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Life lessons today, ladies and gentlemen. We're providing them.
Life lessons from redundant opinions.
Redundant opinions, but not redundant life stories. Let's go.
No, that's it. That's it. Oh, man.
Oh, this is scuffed. Love it. Absolutely adore it. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
Yes.
I'm struggling for, I must admit, I'm struggling for a segue on this one here.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. And I think it is such a mammoth of a topic as well. Like, there is so much to dive into there, and there's so many unknowns, which we just have to speculate. That's kind of like what we do. And we've been doing that for a little while, I think. Here we go. Nailed it. We've been doing that a little while, I think, with the Call of Duty, Blizzard, Xbox, Sony.
The whole debacle. The whole debacle
with it. We don't know where it's going to go. We assume that Call of Duty's safe because it is just such a moneymaker. But now, we've got an agreement on things, which is good. Yeah.
So it means that in theory the acquisition will go through, which means that you probably will see some parity in games that are available on the Microsoft platforms versus the PlayStation platforms. But again, you know, as they've said, Call of Duty, apparently there's an agreement here. I'm struggling to find it just here, but I'm just skimming. I can't actually find it.
Yeah, so originally they refused to comment on private negotiations that they had. Like, it been in contact with Microsoft to kind of organize this stuff, but they haven't actually like let us know about anything like that.
That's right. Yep.
But there is a website, Super Juiced or whatever, that has some source.
True. This could be totally,
you know, shit, you
wrong.
know, but it has a source and whatever that says Sony's corporate jet made a visit to Seattle last week for the first time in 18 months. And it suggests that they're, you know, going to be meeting and talking about, these big games. We just don't know, really.
Exactly. And when you've got all these big companies sort of, you know, picking sides of the battle, picking the console war, if you will, it does, obviously it does bring up this whole, you know, controversy of exclusivity in the gaming market. I know there are many out there who are deeply opposed to exclusivity, like, you know, everyone gets their own platform. But I've always argued that, well, exclusivity drives competition. And when you've got some games being available to take advantage of some hardware, then not only have you got competition in the consoles to provide better software experiences, but the console manufacturers are also then required to provide the best value for money in hardware so that their games that they have on that system can look and play the best and generate more sales. So, you know, I take people's points about exclusivity hurting gamers and dividing gamers, but exclusivity and even just, you know, competition in that sense definitely breeds a better product for all of us, I think. Yeah,
and I think the main thing I think we brought up previously is that investigation into like the kind of monopoly side of things.
Yeah.
And it really kind of shows that an agreement will need to be made between the two companies before this deal will go ahead. Like the acquisition will basically blocked without their primary resource their big resource not being agreed to. And it could be an agreement that it doesn't work out, but it's more just as long as the two companies agree that something will happen, they both agree that it will happen. Exactly.
And it's, as we've said, it is a big acquisition, one of the biggest, I think, in the gaming space we've ever seen. If you'd asked me years ago when this got announced or the talking started, I would have gone, nah, no shot. No way.
Yeah.
No way. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if it does actually go ahead in the long run. Again, I think we always speculated that Call of Duty would never become an exclusive. It makes too much money across the platforms. We know PlayStation is I think PlayStation is the better releasing console for this sort of thing. So
I think so. You'd have to see if you can combine all of the Xbox consoles, or does it just kind of under Xbox?
I remember seeing the box art for like the PlayStation copies of the game where it says best-selling PlayStation first-person shooter for X years running and stuff like that, which wouldn't surprise me at all. It just, like, again, we've talked about this in the past where, you make more money selling the games on your consoles, not selling the consoles for your games.
Yes.
These companies mainly sell their consoles at a loss. If not, they just break even. So, it would never have made sense to make Call of Duty an exclusive. So to see them hitting a middle ground there, I mean, happy days.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, Activision is the biggest part of this agreement. Like, not just, I guess, Call of Duty, but everything else behind it as well. There's some stats in the article as well that just show the lowest profit margin for the companies out of all of them in this deal is Blizzard, actually, which is, I guess, not surprising with the track record that it's had, but it's also released a WoW expansion and a new Overwatch game with all of the skins and stuff. And yet it's still the lowest compared to a singular game from Call of Duty and King Digital, which is a part of that ecosystem, raising more money at 2.6 billion than that's King Digital's like Candy Crush and shit. Like, they don't have these big AAA games. It's mostly mobile.
It's crazy, isn't it? Crazy.
Yep.
So it's it'll be interesting. I never really saw it to be a huge loss for Microsoft because it's not going to matter. And again, as you said, like Overwatch and stuff like that, no shot whatsoever will that go console exclusive. They'd kill the game straight away.
Yep.
So I think generally speaking, I don't think there's really much to worry about with this acquisition. Maybe some games that start going exclusive. I don't think anyone loses out on that one.
No, I don't think so. It's just interesting to keep track of, I guess, because it's just how it gets affected by different things. Maybe they will like have some kind of agreement and everything's going to be all hunky-dory, but I think if they don't, it's going to be more of a fire under people's asses to find out, really what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what numbers are PlayStation looking at that's scaring them so much? Or is it just a matter of trying to keep their hands in as many pies as possible?
More money. Give me more of the pie.
I like the money.
I like the money. And I guess it's just one of those, I don't know, like, I don't think anything's going to happen. It's like the YouTube thing. It's like, you don't think anything's going to happen, right? But obviously we're not in the know, and then all of a sudden it's just like, boom, something happens that changes everything.
But you've also got a lot of the internet naysayers out there, like the doomsday preppers of Twitter, who like will see a news article like this and will just immediately go into red alert mode. And it's like, all right, let's calm it down here. Like, this is not the crisis that you think is emerging.
I don't think they're the worst people, though. I think like they're the people that are pretty bad. I think it's the people who like at least they're having their own opinion. Like, if you're like, no, this other big person has an opinion, I'm gonna copy that opinion. And then therefore now that's my opinion.
you're sheepdogging it, exactly. Which I think we can safely say has happened a number of times as of late over multiple sensitive topics we've discussed. NFT crypto bros over YouTube.
Hogwarts.
I wasn't going to say it, but you beat me to it. Hogwarts.
Yep.
Which we spent 2 episodes on that. So you do see a lot of people just following the herd because I hate this word so much. The clout chasing. It's something that exists. And the more you do it, the more the echo chamber of the online algorithm will just sort of cement that as your view. So you'll just keep seeing that view, and it's a dangerous world we live in when it comes to, like, you know, understanding people's opinions and understanding people's stances on this sort of thing, on these controversial topics.
When you don't have that as self-aware as well, like, I mean, with the internet as well, I think this is definitely a tangent we can go on, but like with the internet, when you have those opinions, like I've got content creators that I follow, or I got people on Twitter that I follow and things like that, but I don't agree with everything they say. I think they have really thought out opinions for the most part, and I'll watch 3-hour videos that will go into depth about a movie that is shorter than the video that they're doing. Yeah. Right. But sometimes I just won't agree. It's just, I don't agree with that assessment. I could make my own 3-hour video, but I'm not going to because I'm lazy. And I wouldn't be able to articulate as good as that person. But it's about having that self-awareness and not like blindly following that one person because, you know, that parasocial relationship.
Exactly. The age of doing your own research and the age, I can't believe I just said that out loud. Like, you know, the whole, you know, just do your own research, bro. Don't trust the government. You know, these
tinfoil hat acquired. The lizard people are coming.
The lizard. They're already here, Kochie.
Rab people.
But no, like, I think I agree with you in this sort of age of the internet we live in, where everything is so algorithmically charged. You know, once you watch one video of a certain demographic, a certain political stance, a certain stance on a hot topic, that will be fed to you regularly, because if you watch that content and engage with it, then the algorithm will think, oh, hang on, this person engaged with this. They clearly have some degree of, you know, enjoyment or some degree of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Sort of affiliation, I guess, with that point.
Yeah.
So it just keeps feeding them, and what happens is you form these echo chambers online where gone is the days of disagreement or respectful disagreement. It's now, oh, if you disagree with me, blocked, get out of my life. Like,
yeah. I think that's a good point too, because it does come back to what we were talking about before about that lawsuit. That's basically exactly what their point is those extremist videos. They watched it, and then Google went, or the YouTube algorithm went, you've watched one video, well, here's a bunch more.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna like up that extremist view, because there's a whole community that's there talking in the comments and whatnot that say this is a problem and you need to do this, and praise be, you know, to the community that you are, and these things that you're doing are good. And it's like, well, you have to think, I guess, with the, you know, not gullible nature, but the influential nature of people, I guess, these days, it's like, well, yeah, maybe they do have a case here. Like, it's not Google's fault. Like,
no,
but who's, it's the algorithm's fault. Like,
is it an industry practice fault? That's a good question, because I mean, it happened, as you said, like Hogwarts Legacy. You know, you had these two sides sort of form, and algorithms charged, you know, who was saying what, and it only cemented, or, you know, it cemented views in a way. And, you know, we saw it. There was so many times where respectful conversation just could not occur at all. It happened in my Discord. You remember, right?
Yeah.
We had a bloke. Well, we were talking about Hogwarts Legacy on my Discord, and we had a bloke arc up and say, no, if you play this game, you're transphobic. And then we said, well, hang on, let's have a chat. And then I feel a bit bad for him. The whole community got up him and said, well, no, hang on, and hit them with some pretty valid points, and they left that morning.
Yeah.
So
it sucks. You know, it sucks when you're in that kind of community, but again, it's about that self-awareness, and it's like, well, I want to join that echo chamber and things like that.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And I've always tried my best to, I guess, from a content creator's perspective, encourage level-headed conversation that may lead to disagreement, but it doesn't mean you know, start calling each other names and telling each other to go jump off a cliff. Like, you know,
not yet anyway. We'll get in there. Maybe episode 10.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, once we're double digits.
Double digits. That will be interesting, I think, because I think we're pretty like aligned on most topics, I think. But it'd be interesting to get to that point where we're like, no, fuck you, you're wrong.
Yeah, we actually have a disagreement. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because so far it hasn't happened. But like, you like people disagree all the time. I disagree with my best friends all the time. It may be over the most trivial shit, or it may be over some of the most serious shit. Like, it happens.
Yeah.
But and you talk it out and you move on. But in the online world, with the you can be an absolute keyboard warrior, and as soon as someone disagrees with you, hit the block button, and you don't have to see that opinion ever again. You might be blocking someone who, yes, pisses you off in the time being, but you miss out on a perspective that may actually inform yours better, or may even make you challenge yours to make you a better person.
I don't want to be challenged, Cami. I'm already challenged enough as it is.
I want easy mode in life, okay?
But my feelings. I mean, we're on easy mode. We're two straight white guys. We're already on easy mode. We can't get much easier than this.
No, we cannot. No, and we also live in Australia. And we also live in Australia, so I didn't have to wear a Kevlar vest to school either.
No.
So you have, like we do have it pretty easy, but like
But we're self-aware enough to know that. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's just a weird back and forth that we see online a lot nowadays. And again, this to loop it back to the conversation at hand, I genuinely feel like sometimes we see these echo chambers form that, again, as you say, kind of create this. Oh God, I can't believe I'm about to use this word unironically, because it was heavily used in the anti-vaxxing COVID days.
Oh, here we go.
The sheeple. It forms this sort of, I guess, sheeple culture, right?
Yes.
Where people just follow because, X said this and I like this person, or X said this and I hate. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing where it's like you have to kind of challenge those opinions. It's like people 100%. Will reaffirm their own opinions. You do game reviews.
Yeah,
people
100%.
will watch. They won't watch the. I don't know. This is my assumption, but most people don't, unless they really understand the person. They won't wait to buy a game anymore and then watch a prolific YouTuber or a Twitch streamer, whatever, review the game. They will buy the game, have an opinion on it, and then make sure that opinion is reaffirmed by said person.
Exactly. Like I've been guilty of it too, actually. Like I've been watching Last of Us lately, and after I've watched the latest episode, which releases tomorrow, by the way, very excited. You see, I'll often watch it. I'll formulate for a while, and so far I've enjoyed all of them. But I'll go, I wonder if my favorite TV show or movie reviewer enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I'll go on, and obviously, like there's that sort of at the forefront of my thinking. I'm thinking, well, I want to see what their level-headed opinion is on it. But then there's that sort of subconscious nagging going, did he also like it? Am I right in enjoying this? Like
yes.
you get that sort of view, and it's like, well, am I subconsciously trying?
Do you hate that person now because
do you think
less of them?
Well, I must admit, there was one situation where I did watch a review one of the Last of Us episodes. He said it was not a hit when I thought it was my favorite one so far. And I thought, well, fuck you, hang on.
Fuck you, buddy,
no, this is fair. This is a fair challenging of my perspective. So it's like, it's just one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's when it comes down to understanding the other person's argument. And that's right.
Right.
That's the thing. It's like you can disagree with someone, but if you understand the perspective that they're coming from, then you can still disagree with them, and then that expands out your horizons a little bit more. If I've been reviewing games for 10 years, all right, and mostly it's just been text, but I always remember the first 6 out of 10 I gave for a game, and I wrote 2,500 words on why. I said that the graphics were terrible, the graphics weren't great, gameplay was sluggish, the pacing of the game and the story behind it. I think it was Tom Clancy or something. I can't remember. It was Siphon Filter or one of those sneaky shooty games, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I was like, this is above average game, because that's what a 6 is, by the way.
Yeah.
Nothing, average is 5.
We see all these people why is 7 such a bad rating? It's not. 7 is
good.
7 is good.
Yeah. Anyway, so and then 2,500 words, and the guy goes, this game isn't a 6, you're a fucking idiot. And I'm like,
What that bloke did was he looked up, saw the rating, and went, keyboard warrior mode engaged.
Yeah, there's no, he just scrolls all the way down the bottom, sees it's a 6 and goes, fuck you. And I'm like, it's kind of a structure I've adopted kind of now with my video reviews where I don't give a score. I either recommend it or I don't recommend it. And
exactly. Yeah.
But that does call into question certain games, like my latest review. It's like, this is a 6.5-ish game, right? Like,
yeah.
And there's only really one portion of it that's actually decent. The rest is very mediocre. But would you recommend it? It's like, well, yes, but it's
yeah, it's that caveat, right? It's that caveat. Like,
listening to that opinion and being like, okay, I listened to that person's words. What do they like about it? Okay, filter it through that lens.
And this is why competition is very important too, because in the space of reviews, in our content space, or even in the space of gaming and game development, you've got people that'll form camps of what is valuable and what isn't valuable around products.
The console wars, yeah.
Exactly. And you'll have developers answer those, those values slightly differently. And you have that, that very equal battle of, of who's most commercially viable as a result. It's the same with YouTube content, right? Like, you've got people who make content in different ways. As you say, with the reviewer, you don't give the number system. Obviously, with my gameplay with PlanetSide, I have a very vocal view of what the game should look like and where I think the big underlying problems are. But people don't always agree with me, and other creators don't always agree with me. They will raise their arguments and I will rebuttal as needed. But that is what competition's all about. It's all about addressing those values in a way that captures different degrees of, audience. Yeah. It's just very important to ensure that you don't fall into the rabbit hole of entering an echo chamber where your opinions are never challenged.
But I am always right. What are you talking about? We're sitting here being right about the world, all right?
Exactly. If you're always right, then you're not truly living. I'm just saying that now.
Need to be wrong occasionally. We are idiots, and we recognize that.
Oh yeah. I have. Just this last weekend, I did something wrong. I drank till 6 a.m. But anyway.
But you had fun doing it, and I'm sure you
would
have
had
some kind
experience.
of... Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, that's your limit. There you go. You know that's what the limit is.
And we're going to break that limit? Yeah.
And then there's but when we found out, no, that's actually just a pre-game up into the upcoming expo where Cami and I get to see each other in the fleshy parts.
True, yeah.
At TGX. Segue. We got there eventually.
Let's go.
So the Game Expo, which is another reason to go to Melbourne. It's just, that's the slogan of, I think. I think there's probably an official slogan, but it should just be the Game Expo.
For us, for us, it's just to go to Melbourne.
Reason to go to Melbourne. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very much looking forward. Look, I'm looking forward to the expo. Yes. I'm just looking forward for Melbourne, honestly.
Yeah.
Get in there and just get on the piss.
The piss. Go to some cafes. I mean, we're both gonna be at the Game Expo, which, for those who don't know, haven't heard us talk about it, or just have been on the internet a little bit, is from the March 11th to 12th. So what, 2 weeks from now? Probably have the podcast up in time. Obviously, it's by tomorrow or something, but 11th to 12th of March, and both Cami and I will be there. We're also, for those who don't know, part of Team OCE, which is, we're both part of that. We'll be doing a little meet and greet and meet up there. So make sure you check it out. It's at the MCEC, or the Convention Exhibition Center, the same place as PAX. If you go to PAX. But yeah, we were looking to maybe just go back into the history of this expo a little bit, because it is the first time that this one has run.
It's
what are your thoughts on that?
So I haven't had much in the way of exposure to the previous, because I know they've obviously run a different format that you were telling me about before the podcast started, like today. It ran in a different format last year, I believe.
Well, they used to do fighting game tournaments. So this is where the guys who did BAM, which is Battle Arena Melbourne, which is essentially a big fighting game set tournament. And as we get into it, we'll see that we can understand kind of why, like, certain schedules are a lot better sorted than others, because like the fighting game schedule is all packed. It's ready to go. Everything's all sorted. They know how to set up a fighting game tournament. and different
tournaments
stages.
themselves, the tournaments themselves as well are all sorted out.
They're all sorted, and then it's kind of everything else that we're kind of got, I guess, questions about.
Yeah, so at this stage, there's been a lot of announcements so far about, like, you know, what tournaments are happening, what the PC free play area is going to be playing, which makes me question, is this a free play area, or is it like, you know, you come in and play a select game for a few hours? Like, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
I'm still a bit confused about that. However, we are, as you said, 2 weeks out, and we've heard absolutely nothing about the exhibit hall.
No
AKA
map.
no map, nothing. We don't know who's coming. There seems to be very little on the tabletop side. I think I'm just having a look at tabletop now.
The tabletop schedule for what they've got in terms of tournament is chess, which they have a chess tournament on.
Yeah.
And then a dice game, whatever that is. And then Jackbox for the last hour.
There is
it seems open from 10 a.m. until 9 p.m. So
okay, here we go. There is something else here as well. So they've given us a list of the Game Expo will have an extensive board game library featuring, and then there is a huge table. I'm not going to read them off because there's a lot of them here. But if you scroll down to the bottom of that page, there's a big list of games here, which I'm presuming you're going to be able to play.
Similar to what PAX was, where you could just rent out games and stuff.
That's more than we've heard from everywhere else. So that's good to see that zone's being sorted out. The artist zone, nothing there yet either. Free play gaming, you can't even click on that link yet. There's special guests and panels. Have they even got? So yeah, there's no panel announcements yet at all.
No, so there was a creator community request that was sent out. Apparently a bunch of content creators who got the creator approved badge. I think you were probably one of them.
I was one of them, yeah. I know you got media, right?
Yeah, I got media, so I didn't get any of that shit. Because I'll be covering an event for whatnot. But yeah, it was one of those things that kind of went around. They asked for people to nominate themselves or nominate their community for things like panels and shows and things like that.
Yeah.
And that was like, what, 6 weeks ago?
Yeah.
It was at the start of the year. And it's, again, 2 weeks out.
And we've heard nothing.
We don't know if we've got confirmation. We have 2 potential events that we want to do. One with Team OCU about like starting a community and what comes with community management at this level and blah, blah, blah. And our friend Zombies Love Bacon has a podcast that he wants to do as a live recording. So we submitted both of those and haven't heard back. And they've got a Discord as well, which people have kind of been asking for stuff, but it hasn't been too active, let's say.
Yeah. It's been interesting to read up on. I'd be curious to see how they go forward, because again, they've got a lot to do in the lead up to here.
I just got my tickets. There you go. I got my tickets yesterday.
Let's go. Hang on, I'm going to check my email real quickly here as well.
Well, there you go. I can't be all bad because at least I know that I can walk in the front door.
You can get through the door. Let me see if I can do that yet. 1 moment, please.
The suspense is killing me.
Nope. I'm still going to be a chum at the front door.
That's fine. There's plenty of bars that'll be open on the Saturday. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
Straight to the casino.
I'll just go to the casino. Yeah, let's go. True.
Blackjack and maybe, I don't know if there's hookers in
I don't think there are. Yeah,
I don't think there is.
Melbourne's a pretty progressive city. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that one, but with at least blackjack, we'll know that much.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, like it is interesting to see. I was hoping for a bit more so far, but in saying that, I'm more than happy to be surprised, because I'd be keen to see what they can pull off at this con. You know, as PAX is good and all, but I'd like to see more.
Well, reason to go to Melbourne is good. I mean, we're going to DreamHack in a month and a half's time as well. So yes, it's expensive, but we still want to go and do that stuff. And
100%.
I think we have to temper our expectations, because again, it is at their first actual Game Expo event. So they'll learn a lot from this if they continue doing it, if they actually make enough money, you know, because there is a lot of people that I talk to. I mean, yes, we're biased because we talk to a lot of content creators. There's a lot of people that have gotten free tickets to get into this expo.
Yeah, exactly.
Which does
how much are the tickets actually? I'm just gonna have a look at that real quickly.
Yeah, good point. So the admission tickets is $40 for the day. So $40 AUD for Saturday and Sunday. Or you can get a weekend pass for $70.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Which is Yeah.
Given PAX is what, 200 and something? Or
3 days and 170-ish.
Yeah, okay. So 100-day buff.
We don't know how big the expo. Again, since we don't have any information, we don't know about the expo hall size. If it's just going to be the main hall, even half the main hall.
Yeah, half the main hall. That's what I was thinking, because PAX normally takes up
for
both halls. Yeah. Either way, it'll be interesting to go and have a look at. And one interesting piece of news that did come out here is that they were granted, they were recognized by Creative Victoria, like a Victorian government agency, as an actual event in the gaming space. So I believe they got a grant for it, so that will definitely go a long way.
I think so. It'll definitely help with the costs.
And we know that the Victorian government is very, very much interested in making Victoria, or Melbourne in more particular, the capital for gaming in Australia.
Yes, there was an announcement back at PAX last year where they injected like $5 million or something like that.
I think so. So it's clear that there's interest, and if they can take it and run with it, then fantastic. Some of the big major partners, so that includes Creative Victoria. M-Wave are a major partner. I'm assuming they're assisting with the PC free play area. I
think so. It would have to be, and they'd have some kind of booth up there to buy shit like
100%,
like PAX.
Yep, you got the Cancer Council in there as well. You got supporting partners, so Good Games. They're the ones running the tabletop section and providing a lot of the support there. And if you've got people like Good Games supporting in that sense, then you've also got so you got Studio Hawk, which they're SEO specialists, so I'm not entirely sure what they do. Maybe they're helping with like the promotional material.
Maybe.
You've got Crunchyroll as a supporting partner as well. EA, which is an interesting one. I know they're doing a big Apex Legends tournament there, so maybe that's where they're
doing a Creator Cup tournament, which should be very interesting.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know who they've got in that and how many creators are actually there.
Yeah, well, I guess it will be that 60, like they'll have a full server of content creators. Some of them I follow, they're all in teams of 3 as well. So it'll be 20 different teams, all based around content creators.
Interesting.
In there as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
For sure. And also Ubisoft. And I'll just double check. Oh no, go straight to the Ubisoft website. There you go. Curious to see what goes on there. I'm just hoping that they can get their act together a little bit. I'd like to see an exhibitor hall map come pretty soon, but fuck it. If we show up on the day and we're surprised with the best looking exhibit hall we've ever seen, then
we'll be happy, and that's it. Yeah. And if not, I think we're both going to be doing content for it as well. We're making predictions as well, going, what's going to be there, how many booths are going to be there. We were wondering if we could record a podcast, because we were trying to, not for this podcast because we didn't start it since PAX, but again, other friends that had Audio Technica, for example, was at PAX, and we were like, oh, cool, next year we want to go back so we can record in 100%. The Audio Technica booth. That'd be cool. It's like,
be sick as hell.
Does Game Expo have Audio Technica or Rode or whoever? No idea.
I doubt we'll see any of them. I look, if they didn't show up to PAX, I doubt very much we'll see the big AAAs.
No.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready to be surprised.
Yeah.
But boy, do I doubt it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's all about tempering your expectations, I think. Like, I'm keen to go. It's an opportunity for us to get out there and do more content. It's an opportunity for us to go to Melbourne, have a good weekend away. But I think, the whole tempering your expectations thing, God, it's going to be important.
And you just have to realize that you can't compare it to PAX. You can't compare it to other expos that have been around for years, because
exactly
they've had more. And you have to remember that, again, this is run by some people who were running fighting game tournaments beforehand.
This is a big step.
Yeah, it's a big step up to run an entire gaming festival. So I think they'll learn a lot, and we'll see how it goes, really.
Yeah, I'm keen for DreamHack though as well, which we might be attending as well. And then PAX dates got announced, so it's going to be a good year for gaming. Like, normally with PAX, like, you wait a year, you've got to wait every year, but we're getting our hit of, like, so we've got March, which was what, 5 months after. 5 months after PAX.
Yep.
Then you got DreamHack the next month. So that's 6 months. So we're covering off the sort of a halfway hit, right? Like, every 6 months we're getting something in the gaming space, which is really cool for Australia. Like,
it's not just all in September, October, because that's when DreamHack Melbourne was last year, was in September. So you didn't want to go because then everyone would fly home and then fly back to PAX.
Exactly. So it's well spaced. You know, we're getting more in the gaming space for Australia, which is just great to see. I'm like very hopeful that this convention is successful. I hope they know what they're doing. I hope they, because well, another thing that sort of crept up on my attention too is that obviously the PAX enforcers are a big part of the weekend, making sure that things run smoothly. I've not heard any calls for any kind of volunteers at all, and I don't know what kind of scale they're expecting at this event. Obviously, they haven't sold out on their tickets because they're selling them still.
Still selling.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they go there, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that they had the MCEC like kind of security guards and stuff also roaming around, so maybe they just use that staff and pay that staff for the weekend to be able to just host it.
Maybe.
Hopefully they've got their rules updated and things like that as well. But yeah, it's it'll be interesting. I think that's the main thing. I think we'll have some fun, and with my typical review videos for these events, I think we're hopefully be able to just get in there, review a bunch of stuff, and if we run out of things to do, we'll just chop it up with footage of us going drinking and going to the casino. We'll just fuck
off to the casino. Exactly.
Yeah, here's all the cool field in Melbourne. You know, here's I'll do a Visit Melbourne review channel.
Let's go. Let's go.
TikTokers, yeah.
Welcome to Kochie Flights.
Kochie Flights, let's go. Yes, the offshoot channel.
Offshoot, let's go. Yeah, I mean we're next to Crown again, so you know.
Yeah, exactly. So we're not going to be too far away. So if you do see us, come say hi.
Yeah, please do.
I'll be wearing these glasses most likely. You know,
yeah, and I'll just be
because
I'll just be my regular ginger self, so I'll stand out like a beacon.
Yeah, you'll stand out more than those glasses, that's for sure.
I need to get merch. That would help, I think.
Yep. You got emotes now. You need to make them into stickers that you can then, like stick them on things.
Fuck, that's a goddamn. That's a good idea. Write that down. Holy crap!
Hold on 2 weeks. I don't think Vistaprint will get you there quick enough. Hashtag not sponsored. No. But no, I don't think they'll do it that quickly. But maybe for DreamHack.
Or PAX, one of the two. But I do like the merch ideas. Hang on, I'm actually putting something in my phone right now. Stickers.
Have you applied for the not TGX, DreamHack Creator Pass yet?
I do need to do that, actually. Thank you for the reminder.
I was just looking. I was like, oh, where do I get media again? And I was like, no, wait, hang on.
Did you get media for DreamHack?
I have not applied yet because I forgot.
We're both applying tonight. Then very good.
Shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
very good. Very good.
Yeah. DreamHack's got its focus, at least. I think that's probably the main, not the main issue, because again, it'll be a learning experience. They'll learn. I think the Game Expo will learn about where it wants to focus on, because I just don't think it has the capacity to do everything. But DreamHack, we know it focuses on esports. You know, it's not even at MCEC, which I didn't realize until after I booked my flights and accommodation, because I'm an idiot.
You booked? You booked? That's right.
Yeah,
good man.
I booked everything, but I didn't realize it's not at the MCEC. It's at the Olympic Park Stadium.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, luckily the hotel that I booked wasn't in the middle of
the fucking city.
Because then we just have to like get all the way down.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I didn't realize that, because again, we're idiots.
Yeah, we are. Well, but you know, we do well. We do well.
We do all right.
Yeah,
but
so,
it has that focus where that's what my point was. It was like the Game Expo doesn't have that focus right now. It is trying to do everything. It's trying to be a mini PAX with
exactly,
and I think it might just spread itself too thin.
Yeah, exactly. And there's even at DreamHack, you got Creator Hub, LAN, merch, music, panels, stuff like that. I'd imagine there's an expo hall here to a certain. It'd probably be smaller than PAX's, but there'd be something, I'm sure.
They'll be focusing on that.
Yeah, there we go. Expo. Here we go. Yeah. There's an expo hall. So there's gonna be stuff to do. There's gonna be people to talk to, and it's a 3-day event, so 10 to 6 every day for the expo hall, which is really cool to see. And some of the photos they've got from previous years, it shows off. Like I'm seeing Elgato, I'm seeing WD Black and Intel. Like, so there's big names here. So especially for content creators as well that are looking to get in there and mingle with these brands, it's a great opportunity, because one of the biggest, and I think I can talk about this and hopefully not get in trouble, but one of the biggest sort of, because whenever I was
Spicy
talking with
take.
brands,
Yeah.
like some of the things that they said, well, we're out of budgeting, we're out of marketing funds for the year, but we'll talk to you next year.
Yep.
This gives you an opportunity to get in earlier, right? You
That's
can
true.
get in earlier in the year, get your face out there. So there's an opportunity there as well, 100%.
Yeah, I think that's definitely good. And I think I've either said in the past, or I've always said this to friends, it's like people aren't going to remember you the first time you rock up.
God,
and
no.
that's if you're going to try and network and go to events and things like that, it's not like you rock up once and people know who you are. It will take 10 times because people meet a lot of people and you don't matter, sorry to say. You need to have an impact. You need to make sure that you have those follow-up conversations, you know, talk to them on Twitter and do all that stuff. And then even then it might be just that you're a dick and you're not going to
exactly.
get into that group, you know.
And I feel like the problem that we had with COVID and all that is that everyone had to hit the reset button. People had left the company. People had like left companies. Creators moved on. So there was a lot of resetting happening that may have thrown some people off. So yeah, it's going to be like, again, now that we're getting more conventions, now we're getting more opportunities to interact with brands and catch up and just do what gamers love. Yeah. There's way more opportunity for us to actually go out and do stuff now, which is great.
I think that'll be pretty good.
Couldn't agree more.
I'm keen to go to both events and then book other things as well. But yeah, I'm a big fan of CS:GO as well, and that's the primary esport that's going to be there. So if anyone was around for the IEM Sydney days, back in the IEM Sydney, we all know that the Australian crowd for CS:GO events is amazing, and by amazing I mean very Australian. So bias, and if you like to deal with a bunch of yobbos screaming obscenities, but I think it's cool, you know. Exactly. A bunch of lads, you know, screaming, calling everyone wankers and whatnot.
A bunch of dudes just being silly dudes. Didn't the Misfits like almost cause a riot?
Almost caused a riot, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
They had their own booth or whatever, and then started yelling and was like, "Yep, everyone go here now. We're gonna do this."
Yep.
Didn't realize, I think, how much pull they actually had, because they were like, a bunch of, you know, probably tipsy Australians at a CS:GO event where everyone's yelling obscenities and stuff, and it's like,
it's only adding fuel to the fire at that point, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. You could buy drinks at those events too. So
that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Amazing.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes, and obviously we're going to report back. We're going to be doing a podcast on that weekend for TGX. So it is 2 weeks from now where we'll actually be there. So we'll let you know what we find out, and we'll probably have our own little videos up as well, doing either a vloggy style like you usually do, Cam, or something that I put up a review or some something that happens. But we will be doing some kind of recording. So the next episode may look a little bit different, because we'll either be in a hotel room, in accommodation, or we'll be outside somewhere.
Yeah, we'll be in a hotel room.
It out. We'll figure it out. All right, we may just be on a couch, just with Camry's camera just on us.
Two dudes on a couch.
Yeah, 5 feet apart. Just because we're not gay, so yeah,
we're not gay. No,
chilling on a couch. I think, and that's how we'll enjoy the expo regardless. I think it's just one of those things. I mean, even with PAX, it's just like, the expo's great and all, but I'm really just going to Melbourne to see friends and things like that. So
make content while we're there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, have a bit of cheeky fun.
Exactly right. Right. Very good. Very good.
Very good indeed.
Bit of a shorter one for us, but I don't think we've got anything much else to really talk about this week, don't we? I mean, we've got other topics, but boy, can those go on rambles. That's
the thing. I was looking at it going, do we dive into a topic now, or do we just kind of go save it for TGX,
Yeah. That might not be a bad idea, huh?
We don't want to talk about how frozen pizza and why it's sustaining your existence. How long can you talk about that for?
But burnt frozen pizza, remember?
Burnt frozen pizza, which just seems like its own little idiom, I think.
Oh, I am on the worst form of fuel here, but it's getting me through. That's what matters.
That's it. Once you run out of pizzas, it's onto the Dino Nuggies.
You don't keep this waistline for nothing, mate.
No, that's it. Just just flop the.
Oh, we just lost a belt buckle. Very good.
Another one out. That's cute. Oh, another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no. We don't need to go into that. People don't need to know what's in my fridge. There are some people in my comment section who will go, "Wait, Cami's fridge."
He's letting us in. We need to know what's in the fridge. My
community have long been hunting down my fridge, and I cannot get away from them. So one of these days, I swear I'm gonna wake.
Pics, yeah.
Post fridge. Oh, hang on. I just had a fucking light bulb moment.
Yep.
OnlyFans, but it's just fridge pics.
Only fridges.
Only fridges.
Or only freezers. Yeah.
I feel like that's a subreddit. Surely, just
Maybe?
rate my fridge.
Rate my fridge.
Hold up. One moment.
We gotta go Google this.
I'm gonna conduct some research real quick. Rate my
open source intelligence gathering here from the kamikaze himself. We do have, while he's looking that up, we do have a bunch of different topics that we have listed. So, to give us a short list, we've got things about shaping your content community correctly. Oh no!
Sorry.
What have you found?
It's real. But
Rate my fridge.
Rate my fridge is real, but the poor thing only has 75 members.
Oh, damn it! Really dedicated community.
There is some content here, dude. There's some actual content here.
Post fridge pics.
I'm getting out there before I end up on another subreddit that's got a similar name.
Yeah. Only fridges, yeah.
Only fridges. Oh, for fuck's sake. Hang on a sec.
Yeah.
While you're on that tangent.
Yeah. So, we do have some other topics we have listed, and we'll probably get through this. I think it's our kind of aim to get through one topic, like getting through them as we go through the year. Special episodes not included in that as well. Because I think next fortnight's episode is just going to be absolute stupidity, and we'll probably have a couple of beers and just talk, and I can then see after the fact if one, the audio is usable, and two, if the audio is allowed on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
It might just have to go to, like, I don't know, Spotify, I guess. I don't know. Spotify exclusive episode.
Or let's go diversify
only.
The content. Only Fridges is real, by the way. It's a Facebook community that is locked behind a join request.
I wonder what the requirements are to post your fridge.
You must vet with your fridge.
It must be at least 512 liters, or you're not allowed in this community. Mini fridges are banned,
Many.
They're not real fridges.
We don't want no basic bitch fridges in here, okay?
Anything pink is out.
Yeah, God. And on that disturbing note,
yeah, I will see if anyone wants something in particular for the next episode when we're in TGX, or the episodes after that. We do have a list of things that we want to talk about. I'll get there eventually. Yeah,
we'll get there.
So we've got shaping your content community correctly, creating a brand and how sometimes it's by accident. We've got thumbnails and video titles and why they're actually really, really important. Content deals and signing up for too many communities can affect yourself. Eventually we'll have the redundies, which is the Game Awards at the end of the year. It's another piece of end of year content that I get to do on top of all of our segues.
God, the redundies for us would be hilarious.
It's going to be good. We're going to have suits, or at least a picture of a t-shirt.
Yes,
suits and ties.
Yeah,
we'll have alcohol, like really good, like bottles of scotch or something.
Let's go. I like this plan.
Full serious, but not very serious.
Yeah, the redundies, fantastic. All right, yep.
Another one, we've got community engagement and how it's a bit of a bitch. And then also just finding good content friends as well. So there's a discussion there, I think, which I really want to get into, about how your friends sometimes aren't good. They're good friends, but they're not good content friends.
Yes.
And yeah, just getting into the discussion about that. So if any of those pique your interest, let us know in the comments.
Right down there. Yep. Get those little keyboard warrior hands typing away, and we'll answer accordingly.
Yeah, and tell you to fuck off. We'll just do what we want anyway, so screw you.
No, we want to hear your feedback. Please send it through. The more the merrier, guys. It helps us improve the podcast even more and helps us shape what you guys want it to be.
Yeah,
because this is not it's not my podcast, not Kochie's podcast. It's our podcast.
Our podcast. Where can they find you, Cami? What are you doing?
You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, all the bells and whistles under the same username, Kamikaze78. I want to get back. I've been very slack on video production lately. Definitely want to get back into things. Still focusing on BattleBit PlanetSide. Want to try and get a bit more Battlefield content in there. Season 4 comes out. I know, I was waiting for it. Season 4 hits this week, which I'm going to try and stomach to play on its release and see how we go. It's getting better. It still hurts to play, but, you got to get the content. So, we're all just waiting for BattleBit to come out right now, I think. But that's me. Kochie, what about you? What are you up to?
No, much more waiting for BattleBit. I have so many days. Like, I really hadn't played games in the last 2 weeks if it wasn't for my latest review video, which it's on Deliver Us Mars. It's a walk-and-talkie space story. So go check that out. It's quite quick too. It's only like 8 hours to finish the game. So
there you go. Yeah.
It won't take you too long. I'm also messing with the thumbnails as well. I mentioned the thumbnails before, so I've got my kind of style, but I was like, yeah, I'll change it up a little bit and see if that helps.
I'm going to have a look at this right now.
Which isn't a big change. It's just
did
the generic arrow and there's less of the hex and more of the actual picture of the game, but messing with stuff as I usually do. And looking to produce more content. So I think I'll probably do, if I get I want to get another review up for the TGX happens. So if that happens, I'm Kochiefy on everything, Kochiefy on probably most things that you can find, not on Only Fridges. I'm not on Only Fridges. I'm not on Only Freezers. I'm not on any of those.
No, not yet.
And if you want to check out the audio version of this podcast, we're now on Spotify. So that is through Podbean. So you can go to redundantopinions.podbean.com, or you can search for Redundant Opinions on Spotify, and we're there. So you can listen to us on your drive home without having to stare at our ugly mugs.
Exactly. Train ride home, guys. If you've got hour and a half long commutes, we got you.
We got you. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's not a short podcast, not usually anyway. We like to ramble and tell your friends, tell your uncle, tell your grandma about us. And
not the creepy uncle though, all right?
No, I think we welcome the creepy uncle in. He can be part of our podcast. Okay. I'm already getting the dad vibe, so I can be the creepy uncle, I guess.
Yeah. There's always a creepy one and a fun one, so take your pick.
There is, yeah, exactly. We'll flesh it out as we go.
Yep.
That's what we got coming up. As I said, next episode will be at or around TGX. So
we'll work it out.
Whatever happens there, we'll see how that goes. And anything else?
Nothing from me. No.
We did it. We made a podcast.
God damn it! We made a podcast. I did it, Mom.
I did it. Are you proud of me yet, Dad?
When will my father return from war? And on that note,
from the Space 7-Eleven. Yeah.
The Space 7-Eleven. Oh my God.
All good. Well, until next time, we'll see you. Or you'll see us. We won't see you. And we'll catch you guys next time. All right.
Take care, all.
Peace.
Just have that in the intro. We're gonna piss off some crypto bros. Have you seen my board ape?
Apes are the future. It is going to the moon.
To the moon, bro. To the moon.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I hate it so much.